In this episode of Dolce Vita, enjoy the true taste of seafood at its finest. Explore the endless possibilities of Oriental aesthetic through fashion. Check out a fun and weatherproof environment for tennis lovers to enjoy. And appreciate one of Asia's finest private collections of Chinese ink art.
It's really no secret that Hong Kong is a foodie heaven. I mean, you can try the cheap and cheerful local street food, or you can go to the posh Michelin-style gourmet restaurants. I mean, there's really something for everyone with such a wide variety of choices.
But with restaurants all around the city featuring different cuisines around the world, we can indulge them anytime. But if you are in Hong Kong, you must try the seafood.
The Hong Kong people love the oysters for sure, yeah. I like the winter oysters more than the summer oysters, the less creamy ones, so more the salty one, a bit more crispy. We work mainly with the Dutch ones and the French ones. The summer is almost over, so then the season is fantastic. So what we do with the lobster biscuit, we have the fresh lobsters, we roasted it in the oven, so it becomes a little bit crispy. We caramelize a little bit the shell. Then we stir fry it with some tomatoes, onion, garlic, white wine. We add some fish stock. We make our own fish stock. And then we reduce it half an hour, and then you get a really intense flavor of the lobster.
A delicious lobster soup is perfect appetizer for any meal. But when a bowl of soup isn't satisfying enough, why not have a flavorful salad? This salad here is different from the typical ones made from vegetables or fruit. It combines shrimp and two staples of the French cuisine, smoked salmon and foie gras. The toasted bread cubes and cedar nuts add crunch to the salad. What a flavor explosion in your mouth.
The abundance of lobster meat that's in this bisque is just amazing, and I'm not complaining. And as for the soup itself, the texture is smooth and silky, and the taste is very, very rich. And I think it's because of the white wine. It really brings out the sweetness of the seafood. I mean, it's fantastic.
I really like seafood, and this salad has fresh ingredients like the salmon and the Dutch shrimps, paired with this foie gras, giving the salad a really buttery and delicate flavor. But if we're having a seafood feast, I'm sure there should be more seafood.
So we like the ingredients, how they are, and we try to use them like that. So not to add too many things, so only keep it pure and simple. For example, the sea bream. Only add some salt and pepper, and then we cook it in the oven with some olive oil or real butter. And that gives a good flavor, and you taste the ingredients, and that's what is really important for us.
Wonder how to let the sweet taste of sea bream shine? Just serve it with herb, vegetable and light subtle sauce. Simple yet perfect. Mussels are known for their unique flavor, but other ingredients can easily overpower them. So the chef has to choose the ingredients carefully when it comes to cooking mussels. Here, the fresh Dutch mussels are cooked with butter, garlic and a variety of vegetables, which elevated the natural ocean flavor of the shellfish. With a soft and tender texture, the seafood dish is something that will keep you wanting more.
I come from a family of meat lovers, and seafood is a great option on days when you find chicken and beef just slightly boring. And another great thing about seafood is that it doesn't require a lot of other ingredients or seasoning to make it taste good, which is perfect for someone like me, who is not the best cook in the world.
I recently started to eat more seafood and less red meat because seafood is the best choice for losing weight and maintaining a healthy eating habit. It is high in protein and low in fat.
Growing up in a family of jewellery experts, Lena has developed a good eye for great jewellery design. With a profound love of Chinese traditional culture, she has established her own brand and committed to educating people on differences between fast fashion and authentic craftsmanship through antique jewellery and cheongsam.
In your opinion, what is fashion and how would you describe it?
I think fashion is kind of very a personal statement that makes people know your unique taste and style. I like something like timeless, fashionable stuff, and also like functional. I would trim the balance between fashion and function and more practical. And I wish my creation, like my cheongsam, and also my collection, like antique jewelry, being a kind of wearable arts collection.
What is your favorite cheongsam and jewellery pieces?
I just like the diagonal cut and the asymmetry design, just like give people a lively style and not that old-fashioned. I like the origami one because origami is transferred from China to Japan, and Japanese further developed the origami afterward. I think on the cheongsam you can also express some idea about its cross culture and then also the history of some elements from one country to another country. More cultural and more meaningful on the cheongsam is what I want to carry to my design.
I totally agree. Tell us about jewellery. What is antique jewellery and what is the difference between antique and modern jewellery?
Antique jewelry is saying some jewelry is more than 100 years or more or less within this kind of period. And some of the jewelry, let's say more than 30 to 40 years, we would count as a vintage jewelry. And this kind of jewelry, they will more focus on the craftsmanship, and then they always being handmade rather than mass production, and always being one and only one pieces. If you do something like heritage to your next generation, or like for us like investment consumption, is more value to keep. And modern jewelry is something like right now, I cannot say all of them, but apart from those high-end jewelry, modern jewelry is more focused on some simplified design, and they are more or less like more mass production. That's why I think it's different, two different kind of style, and then like the investment value.
Can you recommend me a cheongsam and antique jewellery, and also teach me how to mix and match them?
Sometimes I would rather say less is more. Just like what you wear right now is more design cheongsam, right? And then you can see that many pattern was on the dress itself. I think if you want to stand out the dress, you better pick something simple, earring, or something like hair accessories. Let's say we pick the clip or pick the brooch on the hair, and also you can make more decoration or your jewelry on the hand rather than on the necklace, because you know you can stand out the cheongsam itself. But if you, on the other hand, you pick a plain cheongsam, right, you can do more like on the necklace. I think you can highlight the cheongsam itself.
Last but not least, how do you envision fashion and jewellery trends to be like?
You know that now the economic environment is not too good, but you can know that where the auction house, the business volumes keep increasing, especially after the man-made diamonds are being hot on the market. I think on and off right now, we keep antique jewelry, right? And it is not man-made, and it got historical value. And I think it's just like an uptrend right now, just like the auction house on and off being the result. And then I believe that the antique jewelry business model or volume will be more popular right now. And on the other hand, about cheongsam, I think after cheongsam being listed as national list of intangible cultural heritage, I think it's a quite remarkable and encouraging development for the industry. And people being more focused on this area, and As well as we go to represent our country for some important meeting, people start to wear cheongsam more popular than before. And you can see something even now in modern days that like some actors, they will wear cheongsam at the carpet on the Oscar show. I feel very optimistic about the trend of cheongsam and jewelry.
Some say cheongsam is old-fashioned, but I beg to differ. The magic of these Chinese traditional dresses lies in the simple cut and the stunning outcome. I think that highlights the woman's individuality. With these exquisite antique jewelleries, the style is elegant and classy. Don't you agree?
After the break, take the first step of becoming a tennis pro and discover the mesmerizing beauty of Chinese ink art.
Alina, I've got a good news. I made a resolution at the beginning of this year to work out more, and 9 months into it now, I've lost 5% of my body weight and gained 5 pounds of muscle. Very happy with it.
That's amazing. I want to do more exercise too, but you know the weather's so hot outside, I don't even want to move. I just want to stay where there's a lot of air conditioning.
So what you're saying is that as long as there's aircon, you're okay to exercise?
Totally.
Easy, let's go.
With the growing size of the Hong Kong tennis community, with the lack of availability of tennis courts as well as the surfaces in Hong Kong, we felt it would be really beneficial for the community to enjoy an alternative practicing method as well as trying different surfaces. Our experience center is not affected by the weather because it's indoor, so that the players, tennis lovers, can come here at any time they want. And also, our tennis simulator would have a tracking sensor that will be able to track the player's movement, the spin, and also the speed. The players can also focus on the muscle memories by doing some gym work and doing a number of drills with the tennis simulator. It is less intimidating than a full-size court, as it enables the beginner player to start playing like a game. When we are building up our interest in tennis, it is good to begin with a tennis simulator where we can try different modes and drills. Once they come in, it's like a gameplay. In this format, it's easier to build up interest.
When choosing a tennis racket, you go by the power and control. With a larger head size, you get more power, but you get less control. Basically, it depends on your playing style. Some player would prefer to have like larger head size, and some will prefer to have a smaller one. The smaller one will give you less power, so you have to generate your own power, but you also give you more control of the ball. So it's more like a personal preference.
Back when I was in high school, I tried playing tennis, but then I got an injury. So I eventually transitioned to playing badminton, which I love, but I also love watching racket sports. So ever since, I've also caught tennis highlights.
Same, I've always loved watching tennis. And that's why I went to the Australian Open in 2015, and I saw the match between Maria Sharapova and Serena Williams. The match was so intense, the atmosphere was terrific, and Serena won at the end.
Wow, but it was played in Australia, so it must have been like blazing hot.
Oh, it was January, so it was really, really hot. It could have been 40-something degrees. So I was trying very hard to avoid getting sunburned and dehydrated. But overall, the experience was a great experience, and I was very happy to be there when there was still a live audience.
Being at the tennis court equipped with state-of-the-art technology, you may feel tempted to skip the warm-up and start the tennis action right away. But warm up properly before exercise is essential to prevent injury and make the workout more effective. So before the game begins, you've got to take a few minutes to ease the muscle into the exercise mode.
Usually in Hong Kong, we play with hard court, which is harder surface, and with clay court, what we call soft surface. and the ball will bounce higher. When it bounces on the court, it will become slower. The ball will slow down. You have more time to think about the strategy on how to hit your shot and how to construct the point. It's very important for a youngster to grow up on a softer surface. The US Tennis Association actually recommended elite junior tennis player to train more on clay court now. Because of that, we also want to bring clay court into Hong Kong.
Marcus, thank you so much for bringing me here. I've never tried playing tennis in such a comfortable setting. There's aircon and the coach is right here to teach us. It was so fun.
And you're really good at it too. I just hope I don't get tennis elbow tomorrow. I'm just kidding. Hey, so fun. What about another round?
Let's go.
One of my favorite proverbs is, the faintest ink is more powerful than the strongest memory. And that's why I think ink is one of the greatest inventions the world has ever seen. It records history and it represents human progress. But also, today we're going to see that ink is also a fantastic instrument for artistic expression. Hello, Catherine. Today we're here to talk about Chinese ink paintings.
Yes.
So, what are their places in art and why are they important?
Okay. So Chinese ink painting is a fabulous category of aesthetics of art. So if we talk about Greek and Roman sculpture or Khmer sculpture or other kinds of art, Chinese ink painting is up there. And it doesn't matter whether we're discussing, say, traditional Chinese ink painting or contemporary, because as an art form, it's absolutely sublime, exquisite, sophisticated, nuanced, very, very satisfying.
And why have you focused on ink paintings this time? And what were some of your considerations when you were creating for this exhibition?
So this exhibition, inspired by ink, derives from the MK Lau collection that is actually focused on ink painting. So within the collection, what we did is we dove into the collection to select examples of Hong Kong-based ink artists from the 60s, say, onwards. So it's ink as our main material, and the expression is modernity, and the focus is Hong Kong artists.
Now that I've got an art expert in front of me, I'm very happy about, because I'm not an art expert, and I'm just wondering, how does one learn to appreciate ink paintings? Because some of them can be quite abstract.
One of the aspects about this particular exhibition is we've selected some paintings that are very bold, and with that boldness, it will allow newcomers to the genre of appreciation of ink paintings. It will allow them with that boldness to just be so struck, which will then be the entry into saying, oh, how is that possible that it's so immediate, so powerful, so strong? Now, ink painting also has many subtleties. May not have that immediate effect, but it's a very slow, gradual engagement with the art.
It invites you to look at it,
yes,
really, doesn't it?
And you know, that's one of the beautiful antidotes to today's lifestyle, because it is so rewarding but requires a kind of concentration to look at it. It communicates directly with the viewer. It has so much depth. So I find in today's world where we're bombarded by information, input, goodness knows what, the opportunity to reflect and engage with a Chinese ink painting is really very comforting, because it never really exhausts itself, because it's so rich, so nuanced, that it doesn't exhaust itself. Some of these paintings in this exhibition actually are my old friends that I've known the painting for 30 years, and it doesn't fail to excite.
Now, let's talk about this exhibition.
Sure.
What makes this place different?
The concept of our exhibitions is really an invitation to a collector's home. So it's the lived experience of art. It's a lived personal experience. We're sitting here with a cup of tea.
Yep.
In doing that, we have, what are the elements? We have good tea, whatever one chooses, good conversation, friendship, and art. And that's the thing that replicates what it's like to live as a collector.
And are there any key pieces here that makes the biggest impression on you, or are there anything that you think the visitors should definitely see?
In the stairwell, we have this 4-panel work. So those are the ones I would suggest that coming into the venue grab the attention. And then in the private dining rooms are smaller size pieces that fit in the scale of the room.
Right. And finally, what are you hoping the visitors can take away from the exhibition?
What I would love is for people that are familiar with ink to re-experience that pleasure of looking at ink paintings. I would also love for people that are unfamiliar with the medium to look at it and think, this is really relevant, this art form, and it's enjoyable. So if one person that hasn't been acquainted with ink painting previously, they came away with that feeling, then I've done my job well.
Well, I can say you've done your job because I am that one person. So you're done.
Excellent.
You're done. You can go. And we're done. So thank you very much.
Pleased. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This painting here behind me has made the strongest impression on me today. I love that it's vibrant, but also dreamlike, and it has Western and Eastern elements in it, which resonates with me. And having spoken to Catherine today, I've learned to appreciate the subtleties of ink paintings. And I've learned that the different approaches and methods are very diverse. There are really so much more to explore in this genre of art.
That's all the time we have for this week's episode. If you enjoyed what we have introduced and want to find out more, simply check out our program website. In the coming weeks, continue our sweet journey, delve into Hong Kong's vibrant dining scene, stay on top of the latest happening in town, connect with inspiring people from different backgrounds, and look after your well-being. Be sure to tune in again next time.